Okay, so we will do one just signal flow graph reduction for the two-port network. So now we have yesterday we have seen the network, so that is so two-port network, that is okay. So okay, I'll check this one. If it is possible, I'll use the paper and pen. That requires camera. Again, I'll, because some issue in the camera which I am using earlier, so I will check that and I will see that I will possibly I'll do that. Okay, so this two-port network which we have done yesterday, so that is ZS ES at an angle 0. Okay, so we have two-port network and we have the load ZL. Okay, so now if I look at to the source side, so this will be a source reflection coefficient, and if I look at the two-port network, okay, so this characterized by S parameters. If I look at into the port, okay, so that is nothing but gamma in, and if I look at from the output side of the network, and if I look into the network from the output side, that will be gamma out, and if I look at the only load side, so that will be your gamma L. Okay, so this we have seen. So and we have derived the signal flow graph for this. Okay, so that actually it gives, so if I have the source the signal Bs, and we have here the from the networks or generator side we have the incident signal and reflected signal Bg. Okay, and similarly we have from the load side, so AL if it is an incident signal and BL which is a reflected signal. Okay, so this is what we have seen, and also we have derived the signal flow graph. So how it is look like? So this is actually one, so which is having the source node which is Bs. Okay, and we have the node which is Ag, and we have node Bg. So where, so the signal which is going from Bg to Ag, that is reflected signal. Okay, so that will be your S11. So whatever we have earlier seen, so sorry, this it is coming from Ag to Bg. Okay, so this is S11, so which is coming from Ag to Bg, and the gamma is the reflection coefficient which is going from Bg to Ag, and we have so the BL at the load side, and we have the AL at the so load side incident voltage, and where the signal flows from load to the source which is actually S12, and source to the load which is actually S21, and where we have reflection coefficient, so which is coming from so the AL to BL which is actually the gamma L. Okay, so and we have the S22 which is going here. So now this is the signal flow graph which we have seen yesterday. So now for this network, now we have to reduce or we have to find out what is the input reflection coefficient and what is the output reflection coefficient. We have to find for this two-port network what is input reflection coefficient and what is output reflection coefficient in terms of, okay, so in terms of S parameters, gamma S and gamma L. So this is what we need to find out for this one. Okay, so in order to find out this one, use the SFG reduction technique, that is signal flow graph reduction technique. Okay, so this we have to use, and you have to find out what is input reflection coefficient and the output reflection coefficient. So that is what we need to find out for this one. So even we can have ES, we can represent also the source voltage Vs. Okay, so now let us reduce this signal flow graph, okay, to obtain gamma in and gamma out. Okay, So now let us see here gamma in, we are looking at this point, okay. So where, so AG and BG which are there. So also we have written this in terms of A1 node, B1 node and B2 and A2 node. So it is nothing but the AG we can write it as the node A1, okay. So BL which we can write it as node B2 and AL we can write it as node A2 and BG we can write it as node B1, okay. So now if I want to see the input reflection coefficient, so using this signal flow graph, so input reflection coefficient means we have to exclude the gamma s, because the gamma s is the reflection coefficient looking at the source side, okay. So now we have to look from this point of view, so only from this point of view, okay. So that's why you will going to get only the A1 B1 B2 A2, so starting from S11. So that if we can write, so for the gamma in, okay. So if you look at the gamma in, okay, so this is our gamma in. So where we have, so the node A1, okay, so node B1, so we'll be having the S11 and we have the node B2 and node A2 which will be having S12 and S21, and we have the gamma L and also S22. So this is what the input reflection coefficient when I look it into the network. So this is the representation using signal flow graph. So now we have to use the SFG reduction technique, that is the rules which we have seen. Any rule we can apply here and we have to reduce and get the expression for gamma n, okay. So now first we will apply this, the splitting rule here. So for this, so the node B2, so if I apply the splitting rule, so we will going to get, so A1, okay, so B1, so that S11 as it is, it will be there, S21 as it is there, and S12 it will be there. Now if I remove this node, okay, so if I remove this branch S22 from this and if I put it as a self loop, so that we can apply the splitting rule and we can multiply this gamma L into this one, so that it will become at B2, okay, so S22 gamma L, okay, and gamma L, so which is flowing from B2 to A2, it will be remain as it is, okay. So just if I, so since this is actually a complete loop, okay, so this is nothing but in the series section. So if I have series like this, the branches we can multiply, right? So S22 and gamma L. So since we are moving this branch to the same node B2, so we have to multiply by amount of gamma L, okay. So this is what the splitting rule. So we can remove this branch and we can put it as a self loop by multiplying gamma L, okay. So now after this, so if I have the rule which we can have self loop rule, so where you can see which the branch is coming to the loop, okay, loop node, wherever the loop is there. So then, so divide by this factor of this branch, so that, so the self rule can be applied. So now if I applied the self loop rule, okay, so now this is obtained after splitting rule, okay. So now if I apply the self loop rule, so this can be reduced into, so A1 which is B1, sorry, this is arrow mark is downside, this is S11, okay. So now if I apply the self loop rule, so we can have S21 divided by 1 minus S22 gamma L, okay. So this loop we can, so take, so the ratio of S21 by this 1 minus this value, so that that loop can be reduced. And similarly as it is, whatever we are having S12 and gamma L, okay. So this is A2 and this is B2, okay. So now after self loop rule, so this is the reduced graph, so where we have gamma in here. So now after this, so we can so reduce using series rule, that is you can see here, so this arrow and this arrow and this arrow, so this can be reduced into a single branch using the series rule. So that if I do that one, so we will going to get, so that A1 to B1, so earlier we have the S11. Now if I multiply all these things, you will get the by using series rule, you will get one term. So that is going from A1 to B1, so this is nothing but S21 into gamma L into S12. So this factors I am multiplying with this, so this divided by 1 minus S22 gamma L. Okay, so this is what we have the gamma in. Okay, so now we have the addition rule, so where the branches emanating from the same node and going to the same node, we can have the parallel loop rule. So we can apply that parallel configuration rule, and we can write this one. So the finally the gamma in, so we can write it as gamma in, which is equal to, so S11 plus S21 S12 gamma L divided by 1 minus S22 gamma L. So this is what, so the expression for the input reflection coefficient in terms of S parameters and the load reflection coefficient. Okay, so now we can see how we can reduce the gamma out. So similar kind of like this, how we can reduce the, so the SFG to obtain the gamma out, that is output reflection coefficient. So now let us take the same signal flow graph. Okay, so similar rules can be applied. So in order to obtain this also, we have the A1 and we have B1. So we have from B1 to A1 we have the gamma S, and we have A1 to B1 which will be having S11, and so A1 to B2 S21 and A2 to B1 S12, and we have only the S22 because we should not consider the gamma L, because we are looking only from the network point of view gamma out. So we need to exclude gamma L, so that we will get the signal flow graph like this. Okay, so this is what your gamma out. Okay, so now we have to reduce, similar like you can use the splitting rule in this one. So we will going to get, so at node A1, so we will going to get the, so S11 gamma S, and we have the so we are removing S22, right? So here we have to remove S11 and we have to put it to the B1. So we have to remove S11 and put it here in the B1 node. So that is S11 gamma S. Okay, and here A1, and we retain the gamma S. Okay, and we have, so the S21 and B2, and here S12, and we have S22. Okay, so now we can see here, so this branch is going to the node B1, so that we can apply the self rule for this, and we can have S12 by 1 minus S11 gamma S. So if I apply that one, so this one after applying self loop rule, and this one is after applying splitting rule. So now we will get, so this one A1 which is B1, which we have gamma S, and we will be having S21 and B2, and we have S22. So now this branch, so since we are applying self loop rule, so we will be having S12 divided by 1 minus S11 gamma S. Okay, so this is A2 and this is A1. So this is what the gamma out. So now we can apply series rule again here. Okay, so if I apply series rule, so we'll going to get the B2 and A2, where we have S22 and we have gamma out here, and we can apply the series rule, that is series rule, so where the branches are in series. Okay, so we will going to multiply all these things, that is, so S12 gamma S S21 divided by, so 1 minus S11 gamma S. Okay, so this is what we are going to get, and we will get the expression finally gamma out after reducing the parallel rule. Okay, so we can get addition of these two branches, that is S22 plus S12 gamma S S21 divided by 1 minus S11 gamma S. So this is what you will going to get the reduction for the gamma out and gamma. So this is how we can reduce the signal flow graph for the two-port network which we have shown. Okay, so even we can get for other networks also, so we can reduce the signal flow graph and we can get the expression for the required quantity. Okay, so is it understood? Any doubt in this? Anybody? How we can reduce this? Okay, so now we'll move to the next one. What are the applications of signal flow graph? Okay, applications of signal flow graph. So where these applications of signal flow graph applied is, so if I want to find out any particular quantity, like in terms of the power values, so what is the input power, what is the power which is going to the network, and what is the power which is available from the source, or what is the power going to the load. So all these expressions we can able to find out using the signal flow graph technique. Okay, so now if you see a different power, okay, so if I look into the network, okay, so this is a two-port network where we have S parameters and we have the source here. Okay, so that is we have the ES and we have the impedance ZS. Okay, and we have the load ZL. So now we have a different power, that is the input power and available power. What is the input power which is going to the network, and what is the available power for the network? Okay, so what is the available power which is going to the network, and what is the available power from the source? So okay, so this is available power from the network and available power from the source. This is input power, and even we have the output power. Okay, so that these are all the different power, or we can write it as the load power. So the power which is available at the load side. Okay, so these expressions can be derived using the signal flow graph technique which we have done earlier, so for this two-port network. Okay, so now that signal flow graph we have already seen, so in terms of A1, B1 and BS. Okay, so if I write that one, A1, B1, sorry, this is B1, B2 and A2. Okay, so this we have the S11 and gamma S, and similarly we have the S22 and gamma L, and here S12 and S2. So this is actually we know the signal flow graph for this network. Now if I see what is the input power which is there, so which is in terms of the incident and reflected voltages, okay, normalized, because this we have seen the V1 which is nothing but A1 by Z01, so the square root of Z01, that is the normalized the voltages. Okay, so that we can see, so we can write the equation for input power in terms of the incident voltage, the normalized input the voltage, and the reflected one. So that is nothing but of B1 square. So this is the input, so the power which is there in terms of the incident and reflected voltages, that is normalized incident and reflected voltages. Okay, so this is the input power which is available. So and we can write, so even we can take out the B1 common, so we can A1 common if I take, so of A1 square if I take, so we will get B1 square divided by A1 square. So this we can write it as the gamma in, that is the input reflection coefficient. Okay, so that we have already seen, so that we have defined already also, it is nothing but S11. So this S matrix we have defined in terms of this the matrix A and B, so the normalized incident and the reflected voltages. So that is, so that we have seen already, that is S11 which is equal to B1 by A1. Okay, so when A2 equal to 0, and similarly S22 which is equal to B2 by A2, which is at A1 equal to 0, and S21 so which is B2 by A1, and when A2 equal to 0, and similarly S12 B1 by A2. So these are all we have defined already. So this is nothing but your gamma in, that is input reflection coefficient, and this is nothing but your gamma out, output reflection coefficient. Okay, so similarly if I replace this B1 by A1, so that we will going to get of A1 square into 1 minus gamma in square. So this is the equation for input power. Okay, so now similarly we have the equation for the available power from the source. Okay, so that we can write, so what is the available power from the source, the equation, that is PAVS, which is equal to, so it is nothing but the input power when the reflection coefficient from the source, so our input reflection coefficient, it is matched with the complex conjugate of gamma S. So that is, if you look at into the network, so this is actually your gamma S and this is actually your gamma in. So now where this gamma n is equal to complex conjugate of gamma S, so we will get whatever the input power which is equal to the power available from the source. Okay, when this condition is met, so the PAVS, which is nothing but the P in. Okay, so this is a power which is available from source, it is coming from source, but the input power which is there at this point, so that will be equal only these reflection coefficients are so met this condition. Okay, so that is what we can write for the available source. And in terms of the generator side incident voltage and reflected voltage, so that we can write it as half Bg square minus half Ag square. So even we can see in the signal flow graph, so this A1 we can write it as Ag, that is at the generator side, and this one as Bg, and even we can write it as this VL and this is AL. So in terms of Ag and Bg we are substituting so in this expression, so that is to get the available power. Okay, so that even Ag we can define in terms of the source reflection coefficient, which is nothing but gamma star into Bg. Okay, and we can write the Bg, which is the generator reflected voltage, which is equal to Bs plus gamma S into Ag. So now if I substitute Ag from this expression, you will going to get Bs plus gamma S into gamma S star into Bg. Okay, so if I take this one this side, so we will going to get Bg minus gamma S magnitude square. If I take only magnitude from this, we will going to get gamma s square into Bg. So this will be equal to, so this is equals to Bs. Okay, so this will give Bg, so which is equal to Bs by 1 minus gamma s square. Okay, so now if I apply this one, so here whatever Bg which is there, okay, so this you will get the power for the available, that is what is the power at the available at the source. Okay, so that if I do, so if I take out the Bg common, okay, so Bg square common, so this will give 1 minus Ag square by Pg square. Okay, so this is nothing but 1 minus that 1 over gamma s. Okay, so that we can write it as inverse of that, or we can take the Ag common and we can write 1 minus gamma s square. So now if I substitute for Bg, okay, so from this expression we will going to get half into, so that is Bs square, okay, so divided by 1 minus gamma s square, so this into 1 minus Ag square divided by Bg square. Okay, so now this one, so we can write in terms of the as I said, inverse of gamma, so that is Bg by Ag is nothing but gamma s. So you can see here from this expression we can write Bg, so divided by Ag, okay, so Bg by Ag which is nothing but 1 over gamma s, or Ag by Bg which is nothing but gamma s complex conjugate. So if I take only magnitude, so we will going to get 1 minus gamma s square. Okay, so that if I write, so half into, so this is actually 1 minus gamma s square whole square, because it is Bg square, so if I put square it is become whole square. So now this expression I can write it as, so that is available, the power available from the source, which is nothing but half into Bs square. Okay, so this divided by 1 minus gamma s whole square into 1 minus gamma s square. So now this one times we will going to cancel each other, so we will get half into Bs square divided by 1 minus gamma s square. So now this is the expression for the available power, so at the source side. Now similarly we can write the expression for the power at the load side, so that is nothing but PL, so which is equal to half into BL square minus half into AL square. So this is the expression. So now if I take half BL common, okay, BL square common, so we can have 1 minus AL square divided by PL square. Okay, so this we can write it as the gamma L into 1 minus gamma L square. Even we can write in terms of A1 and A2 and B1 and B2 if I write, so this will give equivalently B2 square into 1 minus gamma L square. So if I just rename the node BL as, so if I rename the node BL as B2 and AL as A2, I will going to get both these expressions. So both the expressions are correct and valid. Okay, so now if I see power available from the network, so which is nothing but the load power when your gamma out, okay, so which is equal to the complex conjugate of gamma out equal to gamma L. Okay, so that we can write it as half into, so B2 square minus half into A2 square. Okay, so this is only when gamma out complex conjugate which is equal to gamma L. Okay, so this will give half into B2 square, so if I take out common, so we will going to get 1 minus A2 square divided by B2 square. So this we can write it as the gamma, so L, so gamma out square, because so that we define at the output side, so we will going to get P2 square into 1 minus gamma out square. So you can see, so if I replace the complex conjugate of gamma L, which is nothing but gamma out, so if I take, since I am taking only the magnitude, so we can replace gamma L equal to gamma out. So that is what the same equation we will going to get. Okay. So this available network, that is power available from the network, which is nothing but the load power when this condition is met, that is gamma out reflection coefficient of at the output side, which is equal to the load reflection coefficient. Okay. So these are all the different power which are available, so in the two port network which we discussed. Okay. So now some more expressions which we need in terms of the, when we use this signal flow graph in terms of the low noise amplifier and finding out the different gains. Okay, just you can remember the equations for different gains. Okay, so that will be used in later part of this course. Okay, so that power gain expressions, so different power gain expressions, different power gain expression, that is first one, it is a transducer gain, which is nothing but GT, which we can represent. So this we can represent in terms of the power, which is PL by PAVS, that is what is the load available at the, so what is the power which is available at the load and what is the power which is available at the source. So if I take this ratio, we will going to get the transducer gain. So that we can write in terms of the coefficients of signal flow graph, we can write B2 square divided by BS square, not BG, BS square. Okay, so into 1 minus gamma S square into 1 minus gamma L square. So this is what the expression for the transducer gain, and even we can evaluate this B2 by BS by using signal flow graph, so that we can write it as B2 by BS. So that will give S21 divided by 1 minus S11 gamma S into 1 minus S22 gamma L. Okay, so minus, so S12 S21 gamma S gamma L. So this is the expression for B2 by S, B2 by BS. Now if I substitute here, you will going to get the expression for GT, that is GT, which we can write finally. So after simplification, we can write 1 minus gamma S square divided by, so 1 minus S11 gamma S whole square. Okay, this is whole square into S21 square into 1 minus gamma L square divided by 1 minus S22 gamma L whole square. Okay, so this is what you will going to get for the transducer gain, and similarly we can have the power gain for the GP, which is available power gain, also we will call it in the low noise amplifier, which is call it as GP, the power gain. So which is nothing but the load power divided by the input power. So this is what the ratio of this one. So I'll directly write the expression, so we can remember, just remember this equation, that is 1 minus gamma in square, okay, into S21 square into 1 minus gamma L square divided by 1 minus S22 gamma L whole square. Okay, so this is the power gain. Okay, so only difference is for GT and GP is we have 1 minus gamma S square here. Okay, so if I take out that one, so we will going to get the same expression. So that will be equal to your transducer gain. Okay, so now if I see available power gain, that is GA, which is nothing but what is the available power from the network and what is the available power from the source. So if I take the ratio, I will going to get the available power gain. So that will be equal to 1 minus gamma S square divided by 1 minus S11 into gamma S whole square. Okay, so S21 square into 1 over 1 minus gamma out square. This is what the available the power gain. Okay, so now we can compare the these two power gains from the transducer gain. So just here the term 1 minus gamma L square, it is not there, so instead of that this ratio will be there. So instead of this ratio, so it is almost, it is interrelated, that gains. Okay, the power gain, available power gain and transducer gain. So this gain equations will be used in, so as we have if we go for the low noise power amplifier design, so that will be useful. Just remember this expression as of now. Okay, so now, so this is only particularly when we go for the application like low noise amplifier or even maximum power amplifier or maximum gain amplifier, these expressions will be used. But in general, what is the gain? So this will be nothing but output voltage divided by, so that is input voltage, right? So this is what we'll going to, so in general for the network point of view we'll see. So in terms of signal flow graph, this V2 V out by V in, we can write it as A2 plus B2 divided by A1 plus B1. So this is what we can write. And in terms of the source, the reflection, so we will write it as A2 by Bs plus B2 by Bs. Okay, and similarly A1 by Bs plus B1 by Bs. Now these ratios we can easily find out. So okay, so using the signal flow graph, so if I find out that one, so you will going to get the expression finally. So remember this expression, that is S21 1 plus gamma L, so this divided by, so 1 minus S22 gamma L. Okay, so plus S11 into, so 1 minus S22 gamma L. Okay, so plus S12 S21 gamma L. So this is what the expression for the gain in general. Okay, voltage gain in terms of the S parameters and the load. Okay, so this is about the signal flow graph and different expressions for the power and also the gain expressions. So if you have any doubt you can ask, otherwise we will do one problem. So based on the properties of S parameters, just this is one small important problem, so they can ask this one. Just one important problem in S parameters, this one. So if we have the S parameters given like this, okay, so let us look at one problem for the properties of S parameters. 0.2, J 0.9, J 0.9 and 0.5. This is S parameters which is given. Now find out, so the first one, find whether network is the reciprocal. Okay, second one, so whether the network is lossless or not. Okay, so this generally they will ask for the some S matrix, and they will ask us to find whether the network is reciprocal, lossless or not. How we can find out whether it is reciprocal or not? So if it is S12 which is equal to S21, so then we can say the network is reciprocal. Okay, so now looking at this one, so this is your S12 and this is your S21. So since both are equal, so then the given matrix is the reciprocal. So now see whether the network is symmetric. So what is the condition to find out whether the network is symmetric? we have to have S11 which is equal to S22. If it is this condition is met, then we can have to say the given network is symmetric. For you can see here from our S matrix, so the network is not symmetric. Okay, network is not symmetric. Okay, now second one, you find out the lossless condition. So how to find out lossless condition? So for lossless condition, you have to check unitary property and as well as zero property. Okay, so both these two conditions, if it is met, then we can say it is a lossless network. How to find out unitary matrix? So we can use the equation S11 square plus, so the S21 square or S12 square. So even either row or column we can take. So take the magnitudes of those and equate it to this one. So if it is equal, so then it will be say, so network is, so possess unitary property. If any one of these property, if it is not satisfying, then the network is not lossless. So now what is S11? It is 0.2 square, okay, plus S21 is only take magnitude, so we will get 0.9 square, so which is equal to 1. So now calculate what is 0.2 into 0.2, which is equal to 0.04 plus 0.9 into 0.9, 0.81, so which is equal to 1. So now addition of this, it will not be equal to 1. So since it is not satisfying the unitary property, then we can say this network is not lossless. Okay, so this is how we have to find out the network, whether it is reciprocal, symmetric or lossless. So if it is satisfying the unitary property, you have to find out also the zero property. If that is also satisfied, then we can say the network is lossless, otherwise the network is not lossless. This is one of the example for this type of problem. If any matrix is given and asked to find out this one. Okay, so this is about the properties and problems of this matrix. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Anybody? Hello? Understood everybody? Tejas?
Yes, sir.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Rishabh? Hello, Rishabh? Understood? Okay. Okay then, so we'll stop here and we can continue.